All right, our lesson's going to be from page 196 and 197 if you're in my second block. If you're in my third and fourth block, it's page 208 and 209. This is basically a vocabulary lesson on surveys, experiments, and observational studies. Okay, so that's the page I'm on. It says surveys, experiments, and observational studies. So I'm going to go through the 4 vocabulary words at the top and then get you started on your assignment, and we'll talk about how to turn that in. First vocabulary word is observational study. It says it observes individuals and measures variables without controlling the individuals or their environment in any way. All right, so you may want to take some notes on this term if it's not very clear what's in your binder. An observational study means you collect data on what you see and hear. You do not change, interact, do anything to change what's going on. You are just watching and observing what is going on. An example of that might be when I was in preschool, I went to a school at Murray State where students observed, and they were behind like a glass window, and I could not see them, but they could see me, and they observed preschoolers and took notes. So I never met them, I never saw them, they were just observing me. They did not interact in any way. So that's an observational study, is somebody is watching but not interacting. Then the second vocabulary word is an experiment. Experiment imposes a treatment on individuals to collect data on their response to the treatment. So an experiment, you're actually interacting with somebody. That would be if those Murray State students had come into our classroom and maybe ask us questions or given us things to play with and done some kind of experiment on us. You probably do experiments in science, so that term might already be familiar. Simulation is the use of mathematical or physical model to represent or to reproduce the conditions of a situation or process. That is done maybe in a robotics class where you design something to model a situation. And then final vocabulary word is a survey. That's an investigation of one or more characteristics of a population. We've got a very important survey going on right now in the United States. This is our year for the census. 2020 is a census year. And somebody in your family has gotten something in the mail. You can do it online, and it's to get an accurate count of our citizens. It's very important somebody in your family do that because it affects funding for our schools, for our roads, for our hospitals, lots of things. So a census is an example of a survey. All right, your assignment is to do questions 1 through 12, and you will be answering, is this either an experiment or an observational study? So you may just write a capital E for experiment, write a capital O for observational. That will be fine. There's really nothing to work out on this assignment. So I'm going to do 2 of them with you. All right, so number 1, a caretaker at a zoo wants to study the effect of a new diet on the health of the zoo's elephants. She continues to feed half the elephants their old food, switches the other half to a new diet, and then monitors the health of the elephants. So the directions say, is that an experiment or an observation? So here's the only question you need to ask. Is anything being done by the observer, or are they just watching and observing? Okay, so on number 1, is this surveyor, is this individual doing anything or just watching? If they are doing something, you're going to put E, experiment. If they are only watching, you put O, or observational. All right, so in number 1, they're doing something. They're feeding elephants different things. So number 1 is experiment. So number 1 is experiment. All right, and let me give you one more. Number 5. A car dealer wants to know what color cars seem to sell the best. So she looks over the past year's sales record. All right, is she doing anything or just watching? She's just watching. Okay, she's not changing in any way what happened. She's just looking at something and observing. So number 5 is observational. All right, so your assignment, this is due Wednesday, is 1 through 12. And you may just give me the answers. You can email them to me. Number 1 is E, number 2, and so on. You can do that. You can drop it into Google Classroom, however you want to get that to me. Please get stuff in on time. It takes me a long time to grade this, much longer than it would take me if it were on paper. Okay, it's taking me a long time. I'm having trouble seeing sometimes the assignment, like the answers. I'm having to really zoom in, and some of them I'm having to print. So try to get things in on time, and I hope each of you is doing well. Have a great day.